Welcome to episode 93 of the Brand X podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John, alongside me, Deuce.
Come stop, bitches.
And boy, oh boy, what a difference a week makes. I'll tell you what, the more equipment you get to try to make the podcast sound better and things that you think is going to be easier, the more you have to worry about and more shit to go wrong. So we wrapped up Thursday. We recorded last week?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, so we recorded Thursday last week, and so I come down. Everything worked all weekend. I worked all weekend. I got the podcast edited and ready to go. And Monday morning, I come down. First thing I do is I record with Jess and Melissa for the Brilliant Observations. So I always come down like an hour early. So I come down and I start the computer up and I fire everything up in the studio. And then all of a sudden, like everything, all I was getting was the spinning beach ball of death.
And that's always a horrible way to start the day.
Right. So I quick call Apple because it was like 8:15. I said, if I'm having a problem, I want to know now. So I call them up, do this, do that, Control Alt R something, touch the back of your nose, hit the button, turn it on, all that. Comes down and says the computer's got a bad hard drive. Damn.
How old is that computer?
It's 2013, so it's 5 years old.
Got a good bit of mileage out of it.
Yeah, and remember, it's a big 3 terabyte hard drive,
it's a big mother.
So I'm like, okay, all right. So then I call, I take my laptop out, and now I've got to configure, I got everything on my laptop that was on, this is just an editing laptop. This is what I do if I want to edit upstairs or do something like that. It's not really made for podcasting. So try to get all that shit done by 9 o'clock. I hurry and I cross wires, and it was a nightmare. So the girls, they recorded on their own, which was great because, to be honest with you, their show sounds better without me. They're just two. There's like me and you. We're friends. We have a back and forth. We know each other. You throw another monkey wrench in there, and
right?
So they recorded their show. I call up Apple again. I said, okay, what am I going to do with this thing? They said, we'll make you an appointment Tuesday at 12 o'clock, like a doctor's appointment. Like you just can't come in with your computer. Like you can't. They're like, oh, we don't have anybody. We're full till Tuesday.
Sure. People bring their stuff in.
So
where's the nearest store down here? Deptford?
No, it's either Cherry Hill or the Sagemore over on 73.
Promenade at Sagemore, yeah.
So one of the reasons I go to the Sagemore store is it's usually not as crowded for some crazy reason. I don't know why.
Well, it's mostly, I don't think too many people know that Apple store is there because the bulk of the shopping there are upscale ladies.
Right.
Apparel.
Yeah, so I like it. And also the reason I like it is it's not a fucking 1.5 mile walk by the time you get parked and carry it down the hallway and out and around and over to the store. Because I don't have good wheels. Got 2 bad knees and I don't, like I said, it's a bitch trying to carry that fucking thing all that distance.
Not for John. He's a nut. He's got 2 bad knees.
It works. So I have the original box. I come in. I box this whole thing up. I get ready. I take it over there. Now, I pull up front. There's no parking spots up front. So I was like, shit, let me just get this thing in here.
No handicap? Nothing?
No, there was nothing there. Nothing close.
Wow.
So I pull up. I'm like, you know what? So I walk out. I'm hobbling with this thing. Guy comes out and says, hey, what's going on? I said, could you just do me a favor? Take this up front. Let me park this truck and I'll be right back. And the guy goes, yeah. I said, I have an appointment for 12:45. Guy goes, no problem. So I jump back in the truck again. And with that, someone walks out of the Apple store and gets in a car right in front of the store. And they're going to back up. So I back up. I put my blinker on like I'm waiting for the parking spot. The guy backs up, but instead of backing up away from me, he backs up towards me. So when he backs out of the spot, the guy comes around the corner and zings right into the spot.
Right.
Lady. I was like, you piece of shit.
Did she play dumb?
Oh, so she wanted to play. So now she parks in there and I blow the horn. And I go, hey, I was sitting there waiting for that spot. She goes, sorry. I wanted to jump out of the truck and rain blows down on her.
Did she have an Audi?
You know what? It was a black. I have no idea.
It always seems to be an Audi.
I was seething mad. I was just like seething mad. And God is good. So another person immediately walked out, was like a young woman, She jumped in the car right next to this lady and pulls out. But I stayed real close, so she had to pull by me and out. So she went the other way. So she pulled back. I immediately pull forward, do a K-turn, pull in. The prick that I am, I pulled so fucking close to that lady because she's putting her sunglasses away, as they do, getting her pocketbook ready. I pulled so fucking close to that lady, you couldn't put a fucking piece of paper between my truck and her door. So now she can't get out.
She's got to clamber over the console?
Well, she can't because she's a large lady.
Oh, okay.
So she can't clamber.
Her clambering days are done?
Her clambering days are long over. So I pull in, right? I get out of the car, and I start walking to the store. She beeps the horn. I look back. She goes, "You're too close to me. I can't get out." I went, "Sorry," and walked right into the fucking store.
Boldly.
I'm like, "Fuck you. I've had enough." So I go in there. Next thing I know, I see a cop pull up. I was like, uh-oh. So he gets out. I see him looking over my truck and all. He walks over and all. Here they come in the store. I'm like, fuck. I get up. I walk. I walk over. I go, "You looking for the guy with that blue truck?" He says, "Yeah." So that's me. He says, You're parked awful close to that lady." I said, "Yeah." Impressive, isn't it? And he looked at me, right?
You're in between the lines, right?
Yeah.
Nothing
I don't
they
even
can do.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I'm between the lines. I have a truck.
Right. So he says, "She can't get out of her car." I said, "She could back out of that spot and go get another spot." And he says, "I told her that, but she wants that spot." I said, "Well, do I have to move my truck?" He goes, "It would be courteous." I looked him right in the eye and I go, "Funny, I don't feel courteous." I said, "Because I had my blinker on and she jumped that spot and the other person just came out." I said, "So, to be honest with you, I'm not feeling courteous." And he goes, "All right." He turned around and walked out.
Yeah, if you're between the lines.
So he walks up to the car and I see him bend over and he says to the lady, "He can't move his truck. He's in line. You're going to have to go get another spot." And I hear, so now I'm at the Genius Bar. They got one person working the Genius Bar, one girl. And I got to tell you, I was impressed because she was working 3 customers like a bartender, man. She's like back and forth, back and forth, this and that. And she had like an iPad that she, you had to put stuff in, whatever she was doing. Mm-hmm. And she was typing on a thing with one hand like Data from Star Trek. She's like, I was fucking amazed.
Like a risk coach.
Yeah. So she goes through this whole thing, and then she comes up to me and she goes, "I'm so sorry." I said, "Hey, listen, I'm impressed. You're doing a fantastic job. You take your time." So she says, "Well, I know you're in a hurry." I said, "Not really."
Not anymore.
So I get out. Now, someone walks into the store and says, "Anybody in that blue truck? That lady can't get out." And I went, "Yeah, I know. It's okay. She's fine." She goes, "Well, she's trying to bang your truck." Well, I got a big rubber bumper down the side of my truck, so she's just going to dent her door. She's not going to do anything to my truck. Bang, bang, she's banging in it. So they come up, they put my thing up, and they go, "Oh, you got a bad hard drive." I said, "Okay." So they tell me how much it is and all this other stuff, and I said, "Okay, fix it." So now I gotta walk out to the truck. So I walk out to the truck, and I walk around the corner, and I go, "Hi." I said, "Boy, you're more stubborn than I am." I said, "I was going to sit in there for half an hour and see how long it took you to pull away. But I know you're just sitting here and you're not going to move." I said, "So guess what? You win." I said, "Have a nice day." And I got in the truck and I backed out, and that was the end of that. But she sat there she would not move out of that spot. I fired the thing off again.
And we're starting again. So, John, how was your day?
What the hell? That's never happened before.
Well, that's a different computer.
Oh,
You were touching the pad.
I touched the pad.
Probably. And you double clicked on wherever the arrow was.
I fired off the brand X music again. So she was, and then, so I just got done talking about how, you should be a gentleman. But then again, there's that point where they, bitches be bitches.
Yeah. Well, parking lots are.
And here's the other thing. Like, I'm thinking to myself.
That's the last bastion of all out war is parking lots. Well, because to get your space.
If I think if that was a guy, I probably would have got out with my cane and whooped his ass with it. or got my ass whooped,
Well, I
one or
think
the other.
not that you want to see an ass whooping going on, but I think what you just hit on something there, because every time I had an altercation like that with a woman, it's because they're counting on the fact that they're a woman.
Right.
And you will appear unseemly if you raise the stakes. They hide behind their femininity.
I understand that. And listen, I would never raise my hand to a woman. That's ridiculous.
No, I'm not saying it, but even if it was just like a verbal disagreement,
right?
They hide behind that aspect.
If they really, really, really piss me off, I'll drop a C word on them in front of them.
Not you.
Yeah, it's happened. It's happened. So, yeah.
That's why Joe always carries loose change in his car. So.
Yeah, that's true. I just
pennies wreak havoc on glass.
That's true too.
And painted surfaces.
Well, I mean, there's a story on this podcast somewhere where a guy had pulled in front of me, pulled right in front of me. I was hit him, and then I got out of my truck, and then my son was like 2 or 3 in the back, and the guy said something. They laughed at me as they walked away, and I was going to go over there and just like wail into him. But then I'm like, I'm going to get arrested, and they're going to take my son, so I can't do that. So that's when I punched the side mirror. It cost me $125, but I felt much better. I had to replace his fucking mirror, but I don't know. But I'll tell you what, she was more stubborn than I was. Like I would have, after 5 minutes, I would have backed out. I would have backed out and came back and keyed my truck. That's what, if I was her, I would have backed out, came back and keyed the side of my truck. That's what I would have done if I was her. But she did. Although I never really did check the passenger side door. She could have reached out and wrote dickhead right in the side of my truck. I don't know.
Yeah. Lipstick or Reese's peanut butter cups.
Right.
Because she's large.
No.
Get it?
A Snickers bar smeared all over the side of my truck. Yes.
Get it? She was hangry.
She was hangry. I was hangry.
She was angry and then hangry.
So this kind of ties into the spotlight we did last week with Secular Soup.
Oh, okay.
So this morning...
wait. You're jumping the shark a little bit, or jumping ahead. What was the prognosis? How much is it going to cost you to get the computer fixed? And everything?
It's $300 to have a hard drive and have it installed. It's done.
Oh,
if we weren't recording tonight, I would have drove over and got it.
Oh, it's like a sore dick. You can't beat it.
That's right. Yeah, I mean that thing, and I put that thing through the ringer. Like I really worked the balls off that computer, and it never missed a beat.
And everything's backed up on the cloud, so you'll be able to.
Yeah,
I guess you have to reformat some stuff, right?
Yeah. It's going to take me a day to put everything back in there again. But now that I'm sitting here like this with this laptop, and I can see you, and I'm not looking around you and all that. Although it is a pain in the ass not being able to. Everything in here is so small on my screen now. Like
and I think you need reading glasses.
No, I do. There's no doubt about that. I do need reading glasses. And my glasses for distance, like what I have in a truck, like I wear glasses for distance in a truck, I can see fine. But now,
yeah, well, these are progressives.
See, I tried that. I think I tried that one time, and I couldn't stand it because makes you dizzy.
Well, if you have the line, that's a little bit more, but this is like a gradual. See, there's no line there,
right? So I might have to do that. I don't know, or just take a big magnifying glass and put it over the screen.
Yeah, if you wear and then when I wear my contact lenses, then I got to drag out the reading glasses, which I got those little compact ones, which isn't a big deal.
I got you.
So they don't take up much space.
All the shit you do when you're getting old.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily you're getting old. It's just basically you're.
Well, did you need reading glasses when you were young?
Well, it's because some people it happens to earlier than others. It happened to me only the last couple of years ago, but I know people it happened to them in their like late 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
They're totally
But
fucked.
on the most part, wouldn't you say that as you get older, it starts to get worse?
Well, you know why it happens? No.
No.
Because you're getting older. Nah.
I just said that.
It's because your cornea doesn't have the elasticity and it can't.
Nothing has the elasticity anymore.
I like how you assume everyone has your problems just because they're the same age as you.
Okay, so now I love the way you assume that I assume.
You do that all the time.
No, wait a minute. No, because my father always had really great vision. Okay, and as he got to be older, he started having to use glasses. He says, "Yeah, this is what happens when you get old." Same thing happened to my uncle. Same thing happened to Jimmy and Michael. So I had. It's not like I just said, "Oh, well, this happens to me." It happens to everybody else.
This podcast and other podcasts that you are on are littered with examples. Because now I'm in my 50s and sometimes I have to get up in the middle of the night and go, like we all do. I'm like, no, sometimes we all don't.
You don't
have
to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom?
I'm pretty goddamn amazing.
Really?
Yeah, I went to the doctor's yesterday for a checkup.
Jesus Christ, I gotta get up every 2 hours to pee.
Yeah, you'll be pissed. Diane was pissed.
Oh, it's why I got. Go ahead.
Well, I went to the doctor's yesterday.
Do you want it? You think because you're healthy, I would be upset?
No. I'm just saying any medical ailment or something that you're experiencing,
right? You
automatically assume that everyone of your vintage is going through the same exact thing.
Well, I listen to people and they say, "Oh yeah, ever since I've got to be this age, I got to get up in the middle of the night and pee." That's one of the things about getting older.
And I don't.
So you're the anomaly.
I don't know about the.
You are. You're the statistic anomaly. Most people in their mid-50s have to get up in the middle of the night to pee.
That's what One Way Ray calls me. You are an anomaly.
Yeah, see? You're an anomaly. Right. You don't have to get up in the middle of the night to pee.
I had blood work done.
Yes.
And I went to the doctor's yesterday.
And how did it work out?
Oh, excellent. They said, well, your cholesterol dropped from 214 or 215 to 193.
Look at you.
Okay, your bad cholesterol number dropped from whatever it was to like 120. I don't even know what is it, the LDL or the HD? I don't know. They got these. The bad cholesterol number dropped.
Okay.
And so did you change anything in your diet? No. Really? You're not doing anything different at all? No. Well, whatever you're doing, it's working for you. So I'm going to write a book. It's going to be the all beer, coffee, protein, and Hershey's chocolate bar diet.
Right. It works for me. It'll kill you.
It'll work. If it works for me, it'll work for everyone.
See, now that's so funny that you assume that it would work for everybody.
That's exactly the point I was trying to make.
But no,
see?
No. But the thing about it is more people are like me than they are like you. So it's easier for me to assume that more people, this happens to more people than it doesn't at my age because you're an anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. All right, so now we went through the hard drive. All right, so let me get back into this.
Secular soup.
All right, so first thing, we're me, you, Jason, and Mindy from the Jason and Mindy Show. We have like a Facebook group that we chat back and forth in.
Mm-hmm.
So this morning Mindy says, love the argument, so funny. You had me cracking up this morning. Never get too frustrated with each other that you stop because it's gold material. I can see why you don't do it often.
Actually, we do.
We just don't record it.
30 years of this.
Right, we just don't record it.
Our back catalog.
And everybody thinks everybody thinks that we're really upset with each other. And then we take the headphones off. We go, that was pretty good. It's like, or, that was fun. Or, it was because it doesn't bother us.
How about next week?
Yeah.
How we do this?
Because, we can have a difference of opinion and not get so upset with each other that, it's just, I don't know why we've been doing, I guess because we're doing it so long, but we can have a difference of opinion, respect that other person's opinion. Well, I respect yours. I don't know if you respect mine. I don't want to assume anything. So.
Well, that is wise.
So, yeah, right.
But yeah, I do.
So Mindy said, that we should do a segment where we bring a topic and then debate it like once a month because John's heart can't handle it every podcast.
The death of John.
Right. He just slumps over the desk over here at the podcast.
Pitches forward into his laptop.
That's it.
Knock it off over there. You're not getting any sympathy from me.
I had an uncle die on the toilet on Monday.
What? Just this Monday?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, I am too, but I guess he went in the morning and they say you strain sometimes.
How old was he?
75?
So he went the way Elvis went.
Yes, but not as famous.
One of those life-threatening shits.
Right.
He didn't have the white sequin suit with the cape on, did he?
I didn't see any pictures yet. I don't know.
I've often wondered, how did they find Elvis? Did he have the high collar or the cape?
I kind of think like he was pants around the ankles.
Well, that goes without saying.
Underwear around the ankles, naked.
Did he go like,
I think I got a,
yeah, hunka bird and shit. He's just like pitched forward and died. Well, no, seriously, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I guess he had a coronary or something, or
I don't know enough to know enough, and I didn't go to the service, so I didn't hear. I don't know. He's my dad's cousin. I mean, I'm not
So he's your second cousin, really.
He's like my second cousin.
But he was so much older that we did the same thing in our family.
Right.
When they're so much older than you, that's your uncle. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, I didn't get the chance to go up there and see him. It's funny. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but here we go. One of the things is that when I come, that side of my family's Polish.
Mm-hmm.
So in Philadelphia or North, it's actually Doylestown. There's a Polish cemetery called Czestochowa.
I know where it's at.
Polish Catholic cemetery, and all of my grandmother's side of the family is buried there. So whenever you go there, after you get done at the gravesite, they have a meal right there. Like they have a kitchen where it's like a buffet. You go in there, and they have the best authentic Polish food I've ever had. Kibasi, sauerkraut, gumpkies, just everything. It's just delicious. And it's like, so-and-so died. Get to eat at Czestochowa. So it's like,
there's John praying for death.
No. Not the only one that's done that.
Get a meal out of it. Boy, I hope Cousin Sid drops off soon.
Yes.
I haven't had a good kibasa in a while.
I'll tell you what, I'm really, really hankering for one of those stuffed cabbages over there. As we call them, gumpkies.
How's Aunt Tilly doing? Oh, not too good. Ooh.
Horrible. All right, so then Amy with a Y from Secular Soup sent me an email today. And she said, okay, I thoroughly enjoyed that. We actually record tonight, and we decided to talk about the episode and do a rebuttal to some of the political points. Honestly, I don't know how you two don't break out into a fist fight. It was delightful. Big happy face. Mm-hmm. So I guess they liked it, I don't know. But as I said, we're in the middle of reviewing their podcast, and then we break out into this big, giant argument.
Went off the rails.
Yeah, because I was going to, cut that piece out. I thought we got done and then went into the rant. What was right in the middle? It was almost like...
No, I think we took 5 and then we started... Didn't we go into a rant during the shoutouts?
We did.
Yeah, okay.
We go into rants. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we go into... Yeah. Hold on. We're going to stop and have a rant. Then we go on. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Kind of break into it. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind a good debate. I like trying to finish a sentence.
Me too.
Oh, stop it. Please. Also, we have some Facebook feedback. We got a review from Stephen Bull. I don't know if he reaches out familiar. He reaches out on Twitter. I think on Facebook too. He says if you want to have
that's right.
Yeah. If you want to have an hour or two of laughing and smiling, listen to this podcast. Plus, there is a massive backlog, so you can make that several hour a day if needed. Generally, funny guys. So I really appreciate it. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
And if you want to, you can go over to facebook.com/BrandX podcast, and go to our Facebook page, and you can leave us a review. I would like to see if we could get more of them.
Well, that would always be nice.
Yes.
I did follow through with my threat, and I squashed my Twitter account.
Oh, you just deleted it?
Yeah, I'm done.
You've had enough of it?
Yeah,
There's no reason. I can see you don't...
It's just... I didn't find
it's not for everybody.
I didn't find it culturally enriching.
No?
I was looking for a good excuse why. No, it's just, it's...
I don't know why I get in there and mix it up with people all the time.
Because I do that every day at work pretty much.
Oh, so you get it out there. You don't need to do it anywhere else?
Well, I just wasn't... I wasn't really enamored with the whole thing because to me it's just one gigantic bully pulpit for bullies. And then after that girl with the prom dress thing where this poor girl is dressed in a prom dress.
That's true too.
Yeah, just, you get these, back in the old days, if people thought that, they never really said anything. But now that they're anonymous and they're keyboard warriors and
then they're always a hammer looking for a nail.
Yeah, so it's right. So it's just that was pretty much like, I really don't need this aggravation. I even backed off, as you know, I backed way off of Facebook.
That's true too.
I never realized how much I backed off. Almost every day, I get something that pops up from your timeline,
right?
5 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't share all of them, but right. I had a lot of,
Me too.
I've really reeled in my presence on Facebook because it just got nasty, and Twitter was even nastier than Facebook, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's just it's the land where the liberals live, and I just like I deal with this at work.
Well, again, there's as many conservatives on Twitter as liberals. The problem is that you agree with the conservatives.
No, well,
disagree with the liberals.
The thing is with the liberals, it's like it's the all out attacking. They're just out there like like the girl in the prom dress. I mean, it was just like absolutely like crazy,
Yeah, you know what? I think if I can be so bold, being the moderate that I am. What happens is the liberals attack, and then the conservatives retaliate. Like, in other words, the girl with the dress, and then some jackass says, "Oh, your prom is not my culture," but whatever.
Isn't my goddamn culture? Your goddamn dress isn't my culture, vice versa.
Yes,
whatever, like
whatever stupid jerk off thing he said.
That's what I find out the hypocrisy of it is because the lefties always say, "Oh, we should celebrate diversity. We should all be like one. We should appreciate each other's." And now this girl went and did that, and then you get this screaming loon that comes in and says that his culture isn't her goddamn prom dress.
Right.
So I was like, well, you can't have it both ways.
I didn't want to dress like a slut. I thought it was elegant.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I remember
beautiful and
seeing
elegant.
those dresses all my life. They go in, it's like styles. They come in and out of fashion.
Right.
You and I are both in our 50s. I've seen those dresses in style in the late 60s and the early 70s, and then they came back again in the 80s. They came back again a couple of times in between then and now. It's like it's cyclical.
So can we claim like blue jeans and flannel shirts? No one else is allowed. Nobody of color are allowed to wear jeans.
I don't even know who
shirts.
started outside of the coffee freaks in Seattle. I think that's where
we've been wearing flannel shirts and jeans.
See, when I was in school, who wore all that? That was the uniform of the potheads,
right?
That
sure was.
So I never wore that uniform.
What did you wear in school?
Well, back then, corduroy. I wore jeans. Yeah. Well,
in the 70s, when the bell rang, this is what you heard going down the hallway.
Yeah.
Everybody in corduroy jeans.
Go to the Gap when they sold Levi. Is the Gap still in business?
I have no idea. Did you wear Earth shoes? I haven't seen
a Gap store in a while.
Did you have a pair of Earth shoes? Those ugly ass fucking shoes.
I always wore sneakers.
Okay.
I was a Converse All Star, and then the Dr. J ones with the star and the chevron.
Okay.
I got 3 pair of those. They sell them. They're retro.
Okay.
I got them in red and blue and navy blue, white. Back when sneakers looked like sneakers and not fucking moon boots.
My uniform for school was I would wear jeans because I finally, when I got to high school, I talked my mom into let me wear jeans to school. So I wore jeans and a football jersey. I must have had
I had a couple of
50 football jerseys. I wore a different one every day. I had a Penn State, had an Eagles jersey. I had all kinds of college jerseys.
Mostly I wore jeans, and then the corduroy jeans were when they were in fashion like say 81 to maybe 79 to about 81, 82.
I hated corduroys.
Then they abruptly, what it was like the acid wash jeans. Yeah. Like they were like in style. And then all of a sudden the memo went out and it was like, oh. And then like people will post pictures of themselves on Facebook and they're invariably wearing acid wash jeans and everyone breaks their balls. But every person had them.
I never had a pair.
I had quite a few pairs.
I remember that.
It's like, I look quite good in them actually. Now, but that was what I wore. I never wore the flannel shirt and jeans. I wore Phillies T-shirts, Corvette T-shirts, needless to say. Iron-on T-shirts were all the rage back then.
That's true.
You would get an iron-on of anything.
You would go to the shore in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
You'd get a Making Bacon T-shirt.
Do you remember this one? It was
Go ahead.
It was the little green guy like this. I'm going to strike a pose.
Go ahead. Yes. What was that? What kind of?
It was just a little green fuzzy guy leaning up against the wall with his legs crossed like Mr. Peanut, giving you the middle finger.
Yeah.
That's all it was. It was. I'm going to find that on Google. I bet it exists.
Yeah, sure it does.
And then there was, iron-on T-shirts. And we used to wear, we wore Budweiser T-shirts, Jack Daniels T-shirts.
Yeah.
No one cared.
No one gave a shit.
You know, it was like, it wasn't bad.
You can't wear that. You can't wear any of that.
No.
You were never allowed to wear anything sexually explicit. Like you couldn't wear a Making Bacon T-shirt.
Yeah, which made sense.
Right.
My mom bought me a "I'm only here for the beer" T-shirt.
You were allowed to wear that?
I wore it all the time in school. No one batted an eye.
I remember they used to have Big Johnson. Remember Big Johnson?
Big Johnson motorboats.
Yeah,
outboard motor company.
I wasn't allowed to wear my Big Johnson T-shirt. I remember that. But besides that, I mean, that was really kind of my uniform.
Yeah.
All right, listen. You want to play a game?
Sure.
I finally found a game that we can play. That neither one of us has to make up the questions, and we can
and fight about.
Right. So I figured since you like music, that we can do a song quiz.
Okay.
All right. So let's start this.
All right.
Alexa, start the song quiz.
You have an existing game with 2 players. To resume this game, say continue. Otherwise, say start a new game.
Start a new game.
Welcome to Song Quiz, brought to you by Volley. How many people are playing Song Quiz?
72.
Stop that.
Choose a playlist.
Alexa, stop.
Thanks for playing Song Quiz. If you've enjoyed the game, leaving us a 5-star review in the Alexa
Shut
store
up,
will help
Alexa.
us continue to add more songs.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. I do that shit at work all the time.
Fuck is wrong with you?
And that's always the number I pick, 72.
Alexa, start the song quiz, please.
Welcome to Song Quiz, brought to you by Volley. How many people are playing Song Quiz?
2.
Choose a playlist. You can say 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, or 2010s.
60s.
Let's begin.
You be player 1.
Player 1, question 1, for 10 points. Name the song title and artist.
Only the lonely know the heartache.
Roy Orbison, Only the Lonely.
You got the title and artist right for 10 points plus an extra 10 bonus points. Your score is 20. Player 2, question 1, for 10 points. Name the song title and artist.
Duchess of Earl, may I walk through my Duke.
Duke of Earl.
I know it.
You got the title right for 10 points. The song was Duke of Earl by Gene
Chandler.
Your score is 10.
I couldn't think of it.
Player 1, question 2, for 20 points. Name the song title and artist.
You're getting all the easy ones.
The Righteous Brothers, You've Lost That Loving Feeling.
Unreal. You got the title and artist right for 20 points plus an extra 10 bonus points. Your score is 50. Player 2, question 2, for 20 points. Name the song title and artist.
Mrs. Robinson.
Simon and
You
Garfunkel.
got the
couldn't
title
get it
right
out.
for 20 points.
I could see
The
that
song was
fuzzy-haired
Mrs.
fuck.
Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel.
I could see that
Your
fuzzy-haired
score is
fucking
30.
everything.
Player 1, question 3, for 30 points. Name the song title and artist.
Wendy by The Association.
Cha-ching. You got the title and artist right for 30 points plus an extra 10 bonus points. Your score is 90. Player 2, question 3, for 30 points. Name the song title and artist.
You just can't be chained
Oh, that's easy.
to a life where nothing's gained.
You can't
It's
tell
the
me.
Beatles.
Ruby Tuesday by
The
the
song
Rolling
was Ruby
Stones.
Tuesday by the Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stone.
Your score is 30. Player 1,
Jesus.
question 4, for 40 points. Name the song title and artist.
The Easy Beats, Bread and Butter.
You got the title right for 40 points. The
Ooh.
song was Bread and Butter by the New Beats.
The New Beats.
Your score is 130. Player 2,
I said the
question
easy
4,
beats.
for 40 points. Name the song title and artist.
Hello, Dolly.
By Louis Armstrong.
I couldn't see a struggle.
You've got
there.
the artist right for 40 points. The song was Hello, Dolly by Louis Armstrong.
That's
Your
what-
score is 70.
She might not have heard
Player
you.
1, question 5, for 50 points. Name the song title and artist.
Was that Mockingbird? I don't know the artist.
Oh, it's
The
Diamond
song
Ring.
was Mockingbird by Inez Fox.
Okay.
Your score is 130. Player 2, question 5, for 50 points. Name the song title and artist.
It's Wipeout by the Safaris.
Good answer.
You got the title right for 50 points.
You got it right.
The song was Wipeout by the Safaris. Your score is 120.
What's going on with
Player
her?
1,
Hello.
question 6, for 60 points. Name the song title and artist.
What Becomes of the Brokenhearted by Percy. It's not Percy Sledge.
You got the title right for 60 points. The song was What Becomes of the Brokenhearted by Jimmy Ruffin.
Jimmy Ruffin.
Your score is 190.
Oof.
Player 2,
Taking an ass
question
whooping.
6, for 60 points. Name the song title and artist.
I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing.
Correct. It's I Got Nothing.
Oop.
The song was Cara, Mia by Jay and the Americans.
I
Your
don't-
score is 120.
I
It's
didn't
time
know
for
that.
the song quiz bonus round.
Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Player 1, your final question, for 100 points. Name the song title and artist.
Don't know that one at all.
The song was Dear Lady Twist by Gary U.S. Bonds. Your
Wow.
score is 190. Player 2, your final question, for 100 points. Name the song title and artist.
By Diana Ross.
And
The song was Love
Supremes.
Is Here and Now You're Gone by the Supremes. Player 1 got 190 points. Player 2 got 120 points. Alrighty. Player 1 wins.
There you go. We could try that again for like
The next game is starting in a few seconds.
Alexa,
Or
stop.
you can.
There we go.
What were you saying?
I said we could try that again.
Thanks for playing Song Quiz by
Oh,
Volley.
okay.
You may also like Price It Right,
Chat.
a price-guessing game tailor-made for Amazon shopping fans.
All right.
To play Price It Right, say Alexa,
Shut
enable
up!
Price It Right.
Shut up. God damn. Awful chatty.
So, what were you trying to say before
I was going to
Alexa
say that
rudely butted in?
we can try that for, the 70s, 80s, 90s. We try it later on
Okay.
to see if we could. I just figured we tried this. I always wanted to play a quiz, but we really didn't have any way of doing a quiz without one of us knowing the answer. So, congratulations. It's really weird.
I think I go with the 60s because we both were oldies disc
Yeah.
jockeys. But there was a couple there I did like, "Ooh."
Right? Some of them, like I could see. I forget. I could
I knew
see
the one was Diana. It was the Supremes before her head exploded.
But
It
it
became Diana Ross
yeah.
and the Supremes. But
Right.
I couldn't nail the song down. But that Gary U.S. Bonds one, I was like,
How about that?
I was like, that got by me.
All right. So let's do some nonsense in the news. Man in night. Man. One more time. Man in night.
Okay, I'll stop.
Man in nightmare stalking case has 90 pounds of panties at home. How many panties must 90 pounds of panties be? Like,
How many panties would that be?
Yeah, how many panties would be in 90 pounds of panties?
Well, what would you say one pair of panties weighs? Like 5 ounces?
I don't even know.
Well, let's say there's 3 panties to a pound. So it'll be 9
Really?
times 3 is 270 panties.
Who the hell are these Oprah's panties?
I just throw it
like
in
I'm saying,
there.
like some of these things, they look like an eye patch, So like I'm trying to figure out, what kind of panties were they? Were
All
they
right, so
granny
let's say
panties?
they're like 3 ounces, 3 ounces
maybe,
to a pair.
Maybe. So you got 3, then the 16.
That'd be 5.5 pair of panties times 90. So 5 times 9 is 450 or so pairs of panties.
That's a lot of panties.
Yeah, man.
That's a lot of money. I mean, how much is your average panty cost?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't buy them.
Say it's $2 a panty. You're almost into the panties for
No,
a grand.
I would have to say women's stuff tends to cost more than men's stuff.
Hey, Lisa and Sam, how much are women's panties? Tweet at us. Or Mandy. Did I just say Mandy?
Who's Mandy? I was going to look
Mandy. Jesus Christ.
Jeff and Mandy.
Jeff and Mandy, the Jeff and Mandy Show, one of my favorite podcasts. We're actually in a Facebook group together. We know each other well. I don't even know where Mandy came from.
Yeah. Oh, Mandy, well, you came and you gave without taking, but John sent you away.
Oh,
so that's 70s.
Mandy.
Watch that be the question next week, and
Right.
we'll both blow it. Like,
Right.
oh.
A man known in his trailer park.
That's all you need to say right there. That summarizes it up.
As Santa Claus has been convicted of breaking into a neighbor's house to leave her notes and panties he wanted to see her wear.
He does look like Santa
He
Claus.
does,
I just
doesn't
pulled
he?
this up.
Wow. I'll tell you what. He does look like Santa Claus.
He's a 5'9.5" tall Santa Claus. They got him in front of the measurement board when they took this mugshot.
How do you say his first name? Iristro?
Let me find it.
Isitro.
Acitro.
Acitro Lee Sanchez.
Santa Claus, you.
Bay County Sheriff's Office arrested Mr. Sanchez in April after serving a search warrant to his Kimbrough Avenue trailer where they found about 90 pounds of women's underwear. After a one-day trial, jurors said, fuck this guy. No, jurors said they convicted him on 3 counts of burglary and a count of aggravated stalking.
I like this quote. This case was a nightmare, Rivera said. It was one long nightmare from January to April 2017.
Wow.
They had no direct evidence that tied him to the stalking charge. This is his defense attorney speaking. He conceded Sanchez was in her home, but that he did not have a criminal intent. Okay, so he just like coming into the country.
Right. The only thing that they were going to prove that he was there. That's what his lawyer told the jury. But they won't be able to prove that he was there with intent to commit a crime.
Look at it. It got to the point it happened several times a day.
Right.
I was just gathering the notes in the panties so I could report them later. It got to be too much. I worked 2 jobs. Rivera presented a bag after bag of panties to the jury. Man, that's a shitload of panties.
Who was she? Thought she was a detective? She's collecting the notes and the panties.
Oh,
and she didn't go to the police?
She was building a case.
How many pairs?
Or maybe she was very big and she was knitting one big giant pair of panties.
Well, maybe she was like, you know what? These are nice panties.
Yeah.
I don't have any panties.
40 years in prison for this?
I know, right?
Well, I can see with the burglary, and it is a stalk.
My kids were scared.
It is a creepy thing. Yeah.
We had to. Of course, it's creepy.
Before
God,
I was surprised to see he won't get 40 years, but to see that's actual, unless these are stackable offenses, is the only thing I can think of. Like maybe each instance where he was in the house is another length of term that they stack on top of it.
Right. He was a nice guy. He didn't just leave a note and a pair of panties. Like he would leave 8 pairs of panties and a note in her unlocked car. Months had passed.
Yeah, but he didn't dump 90 pounds of panties in one shot, is what I'm saying.
No, but he wanted to have a stockpile. She continued to find women's underwear on her front porch, in her kitchen, on her bed. After she went to work April 13th, 2017, her boyfriend heard someone enter the residence and confronted the male neighbor known as Santa Claus in the kitchen. He found the man in the kitchen staring back at him and demanded answers. Hey, what you doing in here, man? Instead, the man he confronted stared off like a deer in the headlights. That's what it says, stared off.
Stared off into the distance, probably.
Yeah. Instead, the man he confronted stared off like a deer in the headlights, then walked to the door, used a shirt to turn the doorknob and leave.
Well, he didn't leave any fingerprints.
Sanchez then walked home to the trailer, looking over his shoulder to see if the boyfriend was in pursuit. After that, the police obtained a search warrant and recovered 3 30-pound bags of women's underwear in Sanchez's home. It's unclear if there are any other victims, but the woman said she was traumatized by the experience.
Now, this goes back to what we were talking about last week. What runs through a guy's head? He saw this girl and he says, you know what?
That's just sickness.
I got to, get into her house and leave her panties.
Right.
Where did he think that was going to, work?
No. No, it's just the creepiness is off the scale.
He is a creepy-looking dude.
Definitely.
Very, ugh.
All
See,
right.
it's just when you think you can't be surprised anymore, along comes a story and it surprises you. You know, at least he didn't murder her, so I guess that could have been his defense. Hey, he didn't murder her.
I just gave her some panties.
Just left her some panties to wear, that's all.
Well, I mean, if he didn't break into her house, he'd probably be, if he just left them on the front porch or in her unlocked car.
Yeah, I have to, well, even then, you're making
Not that I'm saying that's a good thing. Not that I'm excusing the behavior.
Because we've all done that.
No, we have not.
I'm going to be like you and just assume that everyone does this. We've all left panties for girls.
I don't think I've ever bought women's underwear to be quite. Oh, yes, I have. Okay.
Were they edible panties?
No.
Okay.
Just wearable. Just saying.
Wearable
I wasn't wearing them. I got them for somebody else. Don't look at me like that. Now all of a sudden I'm on trial.
No, what else would you
I was in a relationship.
What else
It was
would you do with
Christmas. I went to.
Of course they were wearable panties. Panties you put on for, you just put them on the mantle
Nobody
for
wears
show.
edible panties for out for the day. You put them on and you chew them off. What do you want from me? I don't know what this. Now it got weird. I went to, what's the name of that place?
Victoria's Secret?
Yeah, Victoria's Secret one time around Christmas. And I went in and I bought some women's underwear for my girlfriend at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like a bra and panty set.
Okay.
That's all.
I believe you.
Wasn't nothing wrong with that.
No, it's just they were panties to wear. That's what you do with panties.
You don't wear them on your head or anything.
Well,
like
it's
that.
not you know what? I'm going to put these on the mantle. Put in some track lighting.
I'm going to mount these over the. Yeah.
Put it right next to my bowling trophy. This is where I'm going to put these panties.
Okay. I get your point. All right, going with your premise of once you think you hear something and then it gets worse.
Oh.
Woman might have served lover's remains at neighborhood barbecue.
Yeah, this was really fucked up.
A woman has admitted to killing her husband, her lover, and possibly 9 others, and may have served one of the victim's remains to her neighbors at the barbecue. Kelly Cochran, 34, was already serving a life sentence for killing her lover, Chris Reagan, when she was sentenced last week to 65 years in prison for killing her husband, Jason Cochran. In an upcoming documentary, friends and family of Cochran recount how she claimed to have served Reagan's remains at the grilling get-together. God damn it.
That's right out of that old Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
But, it's just thing. It's
did you ever see that episode?
No, but, come on. You got to serve that kind of shit that's people, the sickness.
I'm sure they were gluten-free.
Now, what do you do if you're over there and you ate some of this? What do you do now? I don't know if I could ever go to a barbecue again and eat, unless I actually bought the meat.
Yeah. Well, that's how I am at wedding. Diane's my food
tester.
Well, not tester, but if I can't
it's okay to eat.
if I can't easily identify it, fuck it, I pass it by, like George Carlin used to say. Because you know how they disguise shit in creams and sauces, and as you know, I don't eat ham or fish because you'll get AIDS and die.
Yeah, fish. Fish too.
Yeah, fish, AIDS. Anything that I don't like, get AIDS and die.
I like shrimp.
Yeah, so if I can't, I said Diane says she's like the master chef, and she knows what shit looks like, so we'll be in the line. I'll be like, "What is that? Is it safe?" Yeah, it's okay. It's what is it? Oh, it's just, scalloped potatoes and a little bit of bacon in there. Oh, okay.
Cheese, potatoes, bacon. It's delicious.
It's good. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all right. That should be, don't eat that. It's crab. Oh, thanks.
Oh, no, not crab.
Yeah, it's like some kind of crab bisque or whatever.
Oh, nice crab dip. Nice
Yeah.
warm crab dip.
Well, sometimes because you get up and it smells like fish.
Crab.
And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, give that a miss.
The documentary entitled Dead North documents how Cochran and her husband killed Reagan, then made a pact to kill anyone involved in their extramarital affairs. However, Cochran later killed her husband as revenge for murdering Reagan.
I wonder what part of him she served up. I mean, wouldn't you think, unless she ground him up in the hamburger, that's what I'm thinking. Because when it looks an awful lot like a femur.
Well, I mean, if you filleted out the femur bone and you just staked it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could have made some steaks.
But that was like an old Alfred Hitchcock Presents
Wow,
movie
this is
back
really
in the
lean.
day. You ever watch Alfred Hitchcock Presents? Or you don't like that kind
I
of
don't
stuff,
like that
do you?
shit. I don't like any
You
of that
didn't watch
nonsense.
Night Gallery
No.
or Twilight Zone?
No, I can't handle that. It gives me nightmares.
Really? Oh, I love the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
New Year's Day when they play that marathon every year on the Sci-Fi Channel, and Diane gets all nervous.
Yeah, I would.
I turn she'll be upstairs, and I want her to hear the opening theme song, so I jack the volume all the way up to high volume, and it makes her all tense and nervous. It's great.
You're such a catch.
I am.
Cochran's brother says neighbors believe that they were serving human remains at the barbecue. Ugh. Dead North is scheduled to air May 28th, May 29th on Investigation Discovery. Now I got to watch that.
You'll be transfixed.
I think I will.
I might watch that too if I'm not working or doing something.
Well, now the next one doesn't sound like it's that. It's kind of almost like we're going backwards. But talk about your stalker. Arizona woman accused of sending 65,000 text messages after first date with a man she met online. How you doing? What's going on? What are you doing? You want to come over?
I mean,
let's do this.
Yeah,
let's go here. What's your day go? How's your day?
Bing, bing.
Right.
Bing, 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 bing.
I mean, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, I was calculating that out earlier. If I did this right, there's 86,400 seconds in a day.
Right.
Okay, so 65,000 texts. Like, how long of a period of time did this go on? I mean, it's just and then it was just one date. This guy must be something.
I really don't have, listen, I really don't have
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say she's probably unstable.
Oh, I would imagine. Listen, I don't really have a sound effect that would be for for a text, but let's just use this. How you doing? What's going on? How's your day? What are you doing today? Lovely day outside. You want to come over tonight? I'll make dinner. We're having the neighbor. He's delicious. I mean, 65,000.
That's a shitload of.
Good gracious.
Yeah, where did they meet? I think they got off a dating site.
Oh, you would imagine.
Just like one date. I mean, of course, it's in Arizona. You usually expect something like this from Florida.
Boy, it's hot outside.
She's only 31.
Want to go to the pool? I hear the mall's air conditioned.
Yeah, here it is.
Want to come over?
Stalking and harassing a man she met online, according to Maricopa County court documents. Court records.
What do you serve with the neighbor? He's a little tough.
She visited the man's home and office while flooding his phone with threatening text messages. She began stalking the man last summer, shortly after meeting him through a dating website.
Are you ignoring me? How come you don't answer me back? I can cook you too.
Here you go. Here's what I felt like. Hold on. I felt like I met my soulmate, and I thought we would just do what everybody else did, and we would get married, and everything would be fine. 65,000 text messages, and sometimes 500 in a single day. Why did this guy just change his phone number?
Oh, now he's got to give everybody else his phone number because this all day hears. I'm going to kill this bitch. How about blocking her number?
That was the next thing I was going to say. What did he,
You would think she'd get carpal tunnel. Like, what could you say in 500
Well, she's
messages?
using Siri. It's like, Siri? Text Bob. Yes. Texting Bob. Again. But that was outrageous.
Stop ignoring me. Say something. Answer me.
Am I pretty?
Like I said, I'm trying to think. I've never really had somebody
crazy.
I've had them crazy, but not crazy,
crazy.
Like stalker, like stalked me. I guess I'm not stalker material.
Crazy.
And
not one. Are you sure not? Like sometimes you just need to go out on like one date, and and then a lot of those you kind of forget about unless something comes up in the conversation.
Oh, it's right. There was one person that I did meet. This was way back in the day when you met somebody from like the classified ads.
Mm-hmm.
And
SJW.
Yeah, SJW.
Single Jewish woman.
Now she was
not social justice warrior.
She was an SWF, single white female.
And a Swiffer.
She was a Swiffer. And we went out like 3 times. And I just got into the elevator business. And I was working on this construction job. And we were working 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. And then, like, I would get home from work, and she would be, like, right there. She's like, come on, let's go out. Let's go out and get a drink. Let's do this. Let's go that. Because, she was a school teacher. Oh, and then she was off for the summertime. So she had nothing to do.
And all day to do it.
Yeah, so she was waiting for me to get home like I was her play toy. You know what I mean? So, like, I would show up. I'd come home from work. I'm all sweaty and filthy, dirty, cable grizzle.
Dirty boy.
I'm a dirty, dirty boy. Smelled like a horse's ass. And she'd be waiting there. She's like, oh, come on, let's go. I'll buy you dinner. And I'm like, nah, I just want to
sort of chill.
All I want to do is drink like a gallon of ice water and go to sleep. And, because I got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's, it's like 7:30 now. Oh, you're such a bummer. Come on. I haven't done anything all day. Yeah. Yeah, I did. So, right. And then the way we broke up was she called me and it was like 8 o'clock. And I come home, drank a gallon of ice water. Had the air conditioner blowing like full bore on me, and I was sound asleep. And she called, woke me up, and she goes, "I'm coming over." I said, "Don't come over. I'm going to bed. It's late. I've had a rough day. I'll see you on Saturday or Sunday. If don't come over." Next thing you know, about half an hour later, I go to the door. What? She goes, "Well, I just wanted to come over. Can I watch TV at your house?" I watch TV at your house. You don't have a TV? I said, "Look, this isn't working out. Go home." I slammed the door, and that was it.
Right.
That was the end of that.
Wow.
Because back in those days, you could block a number.
Yeah.
So I just blocked her number. Well, yeah, because I didn't have a
No
cell
one has cell phones yet. They were they weren't affordable yet. Is what
we didn't have a cell phone. So all I did was block her number from my house, and that was the end of that. Yeah, so that was about the closest I ever came to a stalker, but it really wasn't that bad, and it lasted about 2 weeks.
We had a couple of crazy customers, like when Don and I worked for Uncle Bob. And we, way back when we first met 30 some years ago when I first met you. And you'd get like crazy customers who would come in because we were younger girls were coming in, obviously. So they'd be like hanging around the store and everything. And there was this one broad that took a liking to Don. And we used to call her the giraffe. And
had a long neck.
This girl was a big bitch. She was tall. I mean, she was really tall.
Okay.
She easily had probably almost a head on Don. And that's how tall she was.
Okay.
All right. And people were like starting to like get on Don because they swore that she was probably a dude. We're not sure. I think it was a girl, but she was like incredibly awkward. But the thing was, she was like this long, lanky being. No, not really. But she was just tall, really tall. She was taller than me and Don.
Together, like if you
not that tall. Yes, she was a statuesque, 12 foot tall. But her hair, she had these like really. Now they would call it like an emo hairdo in a sense.
Oh my god! It's not bad enough that you're like 7 foot tall.
Well, it was the blackest black hair I've ever seen in my life, and she had these bangs.
Okay,
like right even with her eyebrows, and her hair was like poker straight. And it was down halfway down her back.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would she be What would her looks be? What would you give her? What would you give her?
She wasn't really that bad looking, but she was just like severe. I would say she would probably be like a 7.
A 7?
A 6.5, 7.
Okay.
But she was just really strange and spacey. And she really, really took a liking to Don.
And Don did what?
Don got all uncomfortable. It was
uncomfortable.
She made everyone uncomfortable.
What was
like she kept alluding that they should go out. Don never did.
Really?
Well, Don is not that way. You know how Don
I
is.
think I would have came in with my hiking boots and some
some caltrops. Let's go.
Come on, here we go.
But
I think I'm going to make the climb to the summit today.
Yeah, it was just she was just a really, really spacey kind of weird chick, and she wore like these. Well, it was the 80s, and the bright colors were really, really in.
Ugh,
but she wore
what a nightmare.
But she wore stuff that was like retro to like the late 60s, early 70s. Because remember that period of time that stuff came back.
It was like tie dye.
Yeah, and it was just like even just the prints and the plaids, all that shit just came back.
Right.
And not only was she incredibly tall, but she was. You know how like a lot of tall girls won't wear heels because it makes. Not this girl. She was like,
she wore heels.
She's
too?
like, fuck you. I'm tall and I'm wearing heels.
A lot of tall girls would like slunch their hunch over so they wouldn't be so tall.
This chick was like olive oil with long poker straight black hair. I mean, she was really awkward.
And you called her a 7.
She was, yeah, but
I think olive oil is like a 5.
Well, I'm just saying that kind of build, you know. But then with the bright colors.
Now, ladies,
and
before you get all upset, I understand that I'm a 3, okay, but I can still have an opinion.
Exactly.
Right.
And I look Brad Pitt, so I can pass judgment on people.
Right. Don't start giving me any shit. Why can't I, how can I judge when I look the way I do?
But she was
care.
It took a while for Dawn to shake that tick loose.
Really?
Yeah, well, she would just hang. She would come in. I can't even remember what she bought. She must have bought cigarettes or either cigarettes or lottery tickets, clearly, but because, I mean, you know how good my memory was. I could tell you what they did. I think she just came in to hang.
Just come and hung out?
Yeah. So, and then sometimes I would be like leaving. There was this real crazy guy. He was spending an obscene amount of money on like pipes and shit. And he would spend the whole day. So we catered to this guy because this is like in the 1985, 86. This guy was dropping like $1,000 a visit.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And that was like a ton of money.
Sure.
Here this guy was in the armed services.
Yes.
And I think he might have been
crazy.
And he just fell really in love with pipe tobacco and pipes and everything. So he was hanging around. Well, this one particular day, I would leave at say 2, but I would come back at 7 and the store closed at 8. And Don and I would go to Kaminsky's or something. Well, I came back at like 7.
Which was a bar.
Right. I came back at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and the dude was still there. So I unlocked the back door and I shut the door. And of course, you get the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So Don knew that I was in the store. Well, we had the one-way glass, and I'm like looking through the glass, watching and everything. So I real quietly, I picked up the phone and I ordered a pizza to be delivered. So Don's out there and he's entertaining this guy, showing him different tobaccos and different pipes and all that. Don's been dealing with this guy now for like 6 hours.
Oh, shoot me.
Here comes the pizza guy. And the guy's name was Anthony. He's like, oh, how about Don, like real bad acting, like, oh, how about that Deuce? He ordered us pizza. Let me put this in the back room. So he comes back there. You motherfucker. You better come in here and take care of this. Don't order a pizza. What the fuck's wrong with you? He knows that I'm in your back. He got all agitated.
Guy's lonely.
So I went around the back door and I came in the front. I was like, hey, did that pizza get here? I was like, oh, yeah, it's in the... Don's like, yeah, it's in the back. Anthony, you want some pizza? No, I gotta go.
I
gotta leave. You never heard the story of Barbara, the town drunk?
No.
Barbara was a town drunk. How's that for a setup? And she had a dog that she
was drunk too.
It was a little time. It's a shame. This is really a sin, but it was a funny story that came out of it. She walked this little Chihuahua. It was like a dachshund. It was one of those hot dog dogs. Okay, on a leash, like you thought she was walking a tiger. It was like 20 feet long.
Okay,
and she's on the sidewalk, and the dog's in the street, like 20 feet out in the street. Well, guess what happened? The dog got run over while she's holding the leash. And the guy stopped, and the guy felt terrible about it. So her response is, of course, was to get incredibly drunk.
Right.
And she's crying the blues to me and Uncle Bob. I mean, she is ossified. And she's talking, oh, he was such a good dog. Oh, I miss him. So we were selling this furniture that someone made, and they made a high chair for a doll. Well, she bought the high chair for the doll for her dog to sit in at the table. So she's all drunk and she's like, yeah, I'll never forget the night we were sitting there playing Monopoly and the dog was there and it looked like he was playing fucking Monopoly. He waves her hand in the air. And you're trying to like keep a straight face at this. So now Don comes in. He doesn't know any of this is going on. And by this time she composed herself. So my uncle says, all right, Don, we got this going on. Oh, by the way, did you hear what happened? Don, like, no, what? Barb's dog died. And Uncle Bob grabbed me. And we quickly went into the back office. And we're watching Don comfort this woman.
I would have just shook my head and walked out the door.
Don, Don, he's such a gentleman. You're like, yeah, he was a good dog. It's really a sin, but at least he didn't suffer. He's like saying all the stuff that you're supposed to say.
I'd have said, what'd you think was going to happen? You had a 20-foot leash on a Don.
Oh, dude, it was like ridiculous. It's like, and the guy that ran the dog over, like at first he felt really, really bad because I arrived in the aftermath. I didn't see it happen, but I saw the cops there and everything. And at one point he's like, well, what the hell did you think was going to happen?
This is a true story. So like nowadays, everybody's like, if there's something happens to a pet or something like that, it's like a big giant tragedy. It's like you lose a member of the family. Mm-hmm. Back in the 60s and 70s, they were just pets. Like there would be no problem for you to have a dog chained to a tree outside, living in a doghouse, like
or a run line.
Yeah, it was perfectly acceptable back then. It was like not people now want to have you put in jail if you leave a dog out all day. So my mom was going somewhere, and a cat came out in the middle of the road. She hit the cat. So she goes. She don't know what to do. The cat's kind of just like still there. She don't know. No one's around. So she goes to the police station. She goes up. She goes, I just hit a cat on whatever road. And the cop says, did you kill it? She goes, no, I don't think so. He says, well, go back and run over it again. And I was like, what? The cop says, no, never mind. Just go home. I'll go run over it. It's like no big deal. Did you run over it? Did you kill it? No. Well, go back and run over it again. Put it out.
Did you ever hit an animal? Like a pet, I mean.
A pet?
I finally, I've run over numerous rabbits and squirrels. I clipped a raccoon a couple of times. And I'm 2-0 against turkeys and black impalas. So if I ever take up turkey hunting, I don't need to buy a shotgun. Black impalas do the job just fine. Got to buy new headlights.
Right.
But they work.
A little expensive.
But I never, ever ran over a pet. I've always been pretty good at it. A couple of years ago, I was driving to work, and there's a lot of deer down there. And I turn the corner, turn, and there's a deer like maybe 45 yards in front of me. And I'm like, and the deer jumped off the road into the woods. And I'm like, oh, good. But when the deer did that, he spooked the cat. And this cat ran right, and there was no way I was going to miss this. It all happened like in seconds. Deer in, cat out. Like, I hit the cat. So I was like, ugh. So there's a lot of farms down there. I'm like, I hope that wasn't somebody's pet. I hope it was just a barn cat or something.
Cat.
Yeah, it was a feral cat. So now I'm coming home, and I'm driving, and I'm approaching, and there's the cat with the big red collar around its neck with the bell on it. I'm like, it's like, I felt terrible. I never, ever ran over a pet.
Did you stop to see whose pet it was?
No, I was. When I go to work, it's 4 a.m.
No, I understand.
That's the last thing that they need.
No,
But I felt terrible about fucking deer. I would have rather hit the deer.
I don't know if I've told this story before. I was going to my dad's house one time. I was driving over in Philadelphia, and his car's coming, both ways. And I'm driving, and there's a car in front of me. And all of a sudden, you see a squirrel come down a tree and dart out into the road. The lady she jerks the car to the left, goes across the lane, goes up the curb, and hits one of those things where like a bus station, like where you stand.
Where the kids stand.
Yeah, but it was like glass. It was like
a city bus line,
like a city bus line. So she hits that.
That's tempered glass, man. That goes everywhere.
It just explodes. The car crashes, and I'm sitting there, and the squirrel, like, he sees that, and he stops, and he panics. Well, I hit the brakes, and the squirrel's like, and I can't go anywhere because there's a car coming. That's there. I'm not going up on the curb. There's people walking. Well, I run over the squirrel. So I run over the squirrel, and there's no shoulder on the road. So I pull up on the sidewalk, right, and I go back because she had kids in the car. I didn't know it at the time. So I go
Yeah, but
back.
you're going to check the driver.
Yeah, I go back
so
to
she's
check the
okay.
driver. Because you're right. When that car hit that thing, just glass went everywhere.
Yeah.
So I go running back, and I go to the door, and I open up the door. The kids are crying and everything. I goes, "Hey, everybody all right?" And all. And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "I should have hit that squirrel." And I go, "Don't worry, lady. I got her.
I got you
I
covered.
got the squirrel." So now the cops come, right? And they come over there and all. And one of the kids from the neighborhood come out, and he took a fucking spray can and he spray painted around the squirrel.
Oh, the chalk outline?
Like a dead body. And it was before cell phones because no one got a picture of it, but so like when I would go to my dad's, like that paint took like weeks,
a long
months
time,
to wear off the street. So as I'd go by, I was looking for the squirrel print. That was, like I said, I mean, you're driving and what am I going to do? Crash because of a squirrel? I didn't run out in the street.
Drivers, I don't know what they teach in driver's ed now. When we were in driver's ed, we'd have, I don't know how your school did, but we would have a state trooper would come in and they would talk and then they would field a question thing. And someone asked about animals. And the state trooper was very explicit. He said, whatever is in that road, you, short of a person, you run it over. I says, because.
Cop told you that?
The state trooper, meaning an animal.
Right.
I said, if something's in the road, it's a split-second decision. You're better off just
hit the brakes.
Just run it. Well,
hit the brakes and keep the car straight.
Basically, what he's trying to say is don't steer around it.
Right.
Because you'll probably cause a bigger accident.
Yeah, you could kill yourself.
As the woman with the bus stop.
Right.
She's
lucky that no other car was coming the other way because she would have just head on. Right.
There's a race in Nevada. I may have told this story before. If they do it every year. It's a 90-mile stretch of road in Nevada. Mm-hmm. They shut it down to the public. And you pay money and you race on it, but it's a timed race. And there's brackets.
Cannonball Run?
It's not.
Kind of sort of like. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's because, in other words, you and I run.
Okay.
All right. You've got your Dodge, and you say, well, what's your equipment? Well, I'm going to wear a safety helmet and my seatbelts. Okay, you're in the 85 mile per hour class. So they've got it timed how long it will take you to go 90 miles at 85 miles an hour. And whoever gets to that mark the closest wins that particular bracket. Well, they have an unlimited class. So there's a couple of guys in my Corvette club that they're so liquid you can pour them in a glass. They would go out there with their cars and they would participate in this. So for that, you have to have a roll cage and a helmet and then you can go as fast as you want. That's the unlimited class. So they have to have a orientation and they're giving you examples of what to do. You're going to be driving 90 miles an hour. You're going to be going very, very fast. And one of the instructors said to them specifically, if there's any animal in the road, if it's smaller than a burro, you run it over. Because a lot of people, it's your reflex. You want to steer around it. But if you're doing like 135 miles per hour, you're going off the road and they're going to find you a couple of 100 yards off the road.
Right.
And then that's assuming that you don't tumble over and over, so. But they said it was a lot of fun. I would love to do something like that.
I would too.
I would love to drive down the Jersey Turnpike in a dragster. I think that would be awesome.
That would be nice.
200 miles an hour.
Well,
a rail car.
Yeah, they don't go that long.
Yeah, but explode, I mean, it'd be awesome.
Yeah,
funny car.
That's true.
300 miles. This is great.
All right, you want to get out of here?
Yeah, I suppose we could do that.
Let's do some podcast shout-outs.
No jingle?
We have a jingle for podcast?
No, it's just whenever I hear Jason and Mindy,
you're not listening to
they play that jingle.
You're not listening to the Jeffrey and Mandy show.
Yeah, the Jeff and Mandy show.
Right. This is just the Brand X podcast. We don't have all that stuff. There we go.
Remember Joe did that?
Right.
What the hell's wrong with
and they went right into it.
If you are looking for some other great independent podcast, I see what you're doing, and you spelled Jason wrong. There's no Y in Jason.
Damn it.
If you are looking for some other great independent...
Well, somebody's got to fix it. I told you to fix it last week. You didn't do it.
Yeah, it's not my domain. If you are looking for some other great independent podcasts to check out, we highly recommend these podcasts, The Jason and Mindy Show, starring Jason and Mindy, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
The Who's Right podcast with Doug and Anthony, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
The Difference Between Us with Jason, Mindy, Stephanie, and David.
I Shake My Head with Lisa and Sam. Sam actually texted me today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was shocked. and
Why?
amazed.
Well, then you guys
we kind of
commiserate
talk
back
back
and
and forth on Instagram, but that's like a step up. Like we might be friends now. Like when someone texts you, like you're friends.
I just assume if you're communicating with anybody
since
by
you're not
any medium, that you're a friend.
I guess. And they got now. There's a hashtag they have that they put out after our last podcast. It says "Jersey's not a cow." So right, because you were mocking my nickname.
Pound Jersey's not a cow.
Right. Exactly.
Not hashtag.
Right.
Pound me too.
Right.
The Unwritable Rant, starring the wonderful Juliet Miranda.
Married as Fuck with Randall and Brooke.
The Rob and Slim Show with Rob and Slim and Sleepy Lucas, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
I'm not even sure. I got to look back into that. I might have to update that one. I don't know who's there now. I know Ryder Doll's there, and I don't know what other minions are in the background now. I listen to the show and stuff for a little bit, but it's not one that I listen to all the way through. Like I catch pieces of it. The Story Behind with Emily Prokop, and that's also my co-host with the Hate to Wait podcast. And,
by the way, I applaud you for correcting yourself and saying a pizza peel.
Oh, you did.
Deuce is going to kill me.
I called a pizza spatula. I couldn't think of it as like a pizza peel. There we go.
Oh, Deuce will kill me if I call it a big pizza spatula.
Right. I'm down another 6 pounds this week.
Oh, good for you.
Yep. It's a total of 18.
Have some sugar.
Have some sugar.
I do have a delicious Hershey bar.
No, I don't want any Hershey bars.
No, I'm a terrible friend.
You are a terrible friend.
Just because my cholesterol's down.
You have all the chocolate you want. What do you want from me?
Yeah, just one a day.
Okay.
I'm going to write that book. Horribly Awkward with Sean Fuller, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
The Jeff Hurt Show with Jeff and Gary.
Everyone has a podcast starring Adam and Brian.
Bold and Belligerent with Lauren, Josh, Luke, and Adam.
Brilliant Observations with Jessica, Melissa, and if John's computer doesn't take a shit on him.
I think I'm done. I think I'm off the show.
Yeah?
I listened to the show today. It sounded better without me.
So, Brilliant Observations with Jessica and Melissa.
There you go. Just Ask Us with Jason and Stephanie. I listened to the second episode today. I didn't get all the way through it, but it was really, really a good show. They started talking about, actually, David, Stephanie's husband. Yes, David. He sent a question and it said, can a guy be bi? Which means he's either gay.
Well, Andrew Dice Clay had the best summary of that.
What's that?
You don't remember that? And bisexual? Let me tell you something. There's no bisexual. You either suck dick or you do not suck dick.
Right, that is true.
There is no bi.
Right. I agree with that because, to me, and Jason was saying the same thing. He's like, that doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. It actually makes me sick to think about, being with kissing another guy.
Get the yips.
Yeah, it gives me the yips. So now, listen, if you like to suck a good dick every once in a while, who am I to stop you? It's not.
It's like Eddie Murphy said in his routine.
Yeah.
You can play tennis with gay guys. It's okay. Like, when you're done, so what are you going to do? That was a great match. I'm going to go have some beer. How about you? I want to go suck some dick. All right, you have fun with that. I'll see you later.
Right. Again, if that's your thing, then fine. I don't have a problem with gay people. I just know I'm not gay. That's all. So they were like, could you be bi? Now, see, I can see where women can be bi because they're kind of friendly and touchy-feely with each other and stuff like that anyhow, kind of, sort of. Like, they're more friendly than, like, I can't see you and I sitting on a couch next to each other, sharing popcorn, watching.
Neither can I.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just not happening.
Holding hands, swinging our legs.
Yeah, just having a leg over while we're watching, I don't know, whatever show we're watching.
You put your head on my shoulder and break it.
Right. I just don't see that happening. It's not something that's comfortable. But women do that shit all the time. You know what I mean?
I think there's a different. We had this discussion in the break room one time,
and
it's like along these lines about women. Okay, and basically everyone was under the consensus: if the woman was really pleasing to the eye, very good looking and beautiful, then she's bisexual. But if she's not so good looking, then she's a lesbian.
Like if she looks like that woman from the Orange is the New Black, with the short hair.
I've never seen the show, but God. I can imagine what you're talking about. But you know what? That seems to be like everyone pretty much was on the same page with that observation. So if the girl was like a living doll, oh, she's bi.
Right.
But if she's not a living doll, she's a stone cold hardcore lesbian.
Like, yeah.
But
then actually,
well,
it's
wait
kinda,
a minute. Why are you changing the rules?
Yeah, because usually if they got the short hair and the flannel shirt and can kickstart their vibrator, usually they're the hardcore lesbians. They're looking for the lipstick lesbians.
Yeah.
The butcher ones. Where I guess it's the same thing with.
But see how the rule changes just based on looks?
I don't know that because I don't. You know what?
I wonder if girls talk about guys the same way.
I don't know that.
That's something I've always wondered. You're out with your buddies at the bar and everything.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, you're talking about no,
I know they do.
Boy, what I would like to do to her.
Yeah.
It's just like.
No, I know they do. They absolutely do talk like that. I would imagine.
Gutter
yes.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say they do.
But they put themselves on a pedestal in a sense that no, we don't do that.
Well, yeah, no, they don't want to look like whores.
Yeah, because it's just like when women fart, it smells like applesauce and potpourri. It doesn't smell like methane like the rest of us.
It was so funny. They were talking about leveling up in the Difference Between Us podcast, and they were like, well, you level up when you're able to break wind in front of your significant other.
No, I don't do that.
So you've never farted in front of Diane? Never.
No, not consciously. When I'm asleep, I don't know what's going on.
But you've never, ever farted
Some things should be a mystery.
Has she ever farted in front of you?
Oh, yeah, she does. But a lot of times it's by accident. So, like, she sneezes and she squeaks one out.
Excuse me.
Sounds like a duck toy.
Oh, sorry, it slipped out.
It's just like, But, yeah, I know.
You've never farted in front of her in 30 years.
No.
Never gave her a Dutch oven.
Nope. She didn't even know what that was. Me and Joe had to, explain it to her while in hysterics. Guys are creepy. Well, yeah, that's what makes us guys.
I just find that hard to believe.
Yeah, something. I don't even.
Never woke up in the morning and farted because.
Yeah, I leave the room. Something should be a mystery.
You go in the bathroom and crack a rat, and that's that.
I go downstairs. I'm not taking any chances.
Really?
Yeah.
After 30 years of marriage?
No. I'm very, very.
I got to be honest with you. I applaud that. I think that's leveling up. I think when you just wake up in the morning stretching.
Yeah. Yeah, like Diane does the typical woman thing, like when she does go in the bathroom. No, every faucet's on, the fan's on. Sometimes she just turns on the shower for good measure too, I guess. I don't know. Just no wonder my water bill's so fucking high.
Huh. How about that?
No.
Yes. All the water's running and.
In fact, I don't even want her to I put the lull down years ago, I was in the bathroom and she
on a long car ride.
She wanted to come in. No, I hold it in.
You hold it in?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing?
That's why, darling, I'm incredible. So, no, I don't do that.
I remember.
Well, first of all, I don't fart in my car.
What?
I'm such a car lover.
Wait, what?
I don't fart in my car.
You've never farted in your car?
He believes me.
Dude, you just told me you never farted in front of your wife after 30 years.
Well, no, that's true. But I won't fart in the car if she's in it.
No?
No.
I'll never forget. There was one time I was out on a first date, and and I was same thing. I didn't want to fart in front of her and anything because, dude, mine are deadly. But so
yeah, I remember Joe Campbell doing that explanation at the trailer. What the hell did you eat?
Right.
You ate the same stuff.
You ate the same thing I ate.
John emptied the whole back wing of the trailer.
What the hell?
That was the night of the deer god.
Right. So I went out, and, you don't want to do the same thing, and when I dropped her off, I got in the car. I think I farted all the way home.
It was like the mosquito truck?
Yeah. All the way home, it was. Yeah, it was crazy.
How'd you feel afterwards?
Oh, afterwards, I felt great.
Yeah.
But,
I hear stories
I don't think I could even walk her to the door.
I've heard stories of people I know where they, piss and shit in front of each other. And I was just like, nah, that would just end the romance for me, right? Because, as I said, something should just be a mystery.
There's some girls I've dated where, I'd be in the shower or something. They would just walk in the bathroom.
No, I'm not having that.
And drop trowel and just go and go to the bathroom and sit there and talk to you while you're in the shower.
Nah, I can't do it.
Now, see, I couldn't do that. I couldn't walk in while they were in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a problem with them walking in when I was in the shower.
There's a guy at work. He's known as the mad shitter This guy absolutely like
The bad shitter.
He absolutely must destroy himself. Get ready with the sound effect.
Okay.
Okay, because this is what it sounds like. I got to stand up to do this.
All right,
okay.
here we go.
So you're in the bed. I was in the bathroom and I was at a urinal, and then this guy comes rushing in, and you always hear him like he runs in and he slams the door, and it's like you hear like. And it's like the second his belt is undone, it's like he must be descending as the shit's just pouring out of him. And it sounds like you're dumping like a gallon of water in
Sometimes that happens, man.
but it's every day with this guy. And it's like, dude, you better just change your diet.
It is diet. I'm not going to lie to you, because ever since I started, changing the way I eat and stuff like that, it's not, I have a definite, it's not, everything's not an emergency anymore. It's like I'm not rushing in doing the penguin,
right?
Trying to get to the bathroom without, like shitting myself.
Yeah, the one cheek sneak.
Yeah, it's horrible. So yeah, I haven't had that since I started.
And just
changing.
to make it clear, this guy is not in my department. He's one of those upper crust management guys.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah. So, but the guy's like a mess, man. I mean, did I ever tell you the story of the guy that like made himself throw up when he was taking his
Oh yeah,
shit?
you did tell me that story.
Yeah, that was epic. Did I tell you the podcast?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, yeah.
You said that he grossed himself out so much he threw up.
He had to turn around and throw up into the toilet that he just shit in, because whatever he like ate, it was so bad it made himself throw up. Came out all sweaty and shit. I guess you do. That's a hell of a diet you're on. I mean, you just lost 7 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, but this guy's definitely got to change his diet, because it's like every day.
All right, let's get back to the shout-outs.
Where we leave off.
This could get awkward.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You're not going to say the name of the host?
Well, you asked me. I just did it so you could get... All right. This could get awkward with Janelle and Samantha.
Okay. Dumb all over with Tom and Austin.
The Shiznit Show with Dino, Dejan, Monique, and Pip Lily. That's it.
And that's a wrap on all the podcast.
That's a wrap on the
shout-outs.
podcast. There you go. And also Secular Soup for being good sports last time when we did their show and got into an argument afterwards.
We don't need to do that to get into an argument.
No, we don't. You can get in an argument can break out at any time. If you've enjoyed this show, please do us a favor. Tell a few friends. Even share this episode on your social media account. It's easy to do. We are on these social media platforms. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/BrandXPodcast, on the Twitter at BrandXPodcast, on Instagram at BrandXPodcast. Just like and follow us, share us with your friends. We would really appreciate it. And if you'd like to join into the conversation, but you won't. You can email us at brandxpod@gmail.com.
But you won't.
Or you can call the Times Yours voicemail at 856-322-2473.
You still won't.
And leave a message. We will feature you on our next Times Yours segment. Thank you so much for listening. Come on back next week for another episode of the Brand X Podcast.
See ya.
Will you shut the fuck up so I can end the recording?
That's it. We're just getting into it.